Horizon Forbidden West. Burning Shores. Yes, this is turning into a bit of a mouthful. If you like nice visuals, fighting robot dinosaurs and being flashbanged by lighting that clearly has a personality disorder, then in short you'll like this just as much as any other Horizon story that we've received thus far. I have a couple of gripes with the expansion, but on the whole, over the course of my playthrough I actually really enjoyed it. In fact, come the end I was vengefully sleep deprived and probably hallucinating. The plot of this DLC is there is another Zenith alive and roaming the Earth. Well, who is it? It's Sam Witwer. For such a recognisable voice and face, it actually took me far too long to recognise him. So, we must now travel to Mordor, or as Silence likes to call it, Los Angeles, sit down in a chair and have a talk show conversation with a hologram, and fuck him up. Before we get going too deep, there are going to be some spoilers in this video to elaborate my points, so please be mindful that this is not spoiler free. You've been warned. Anyway, if you don't care like me, let's go. After bidding goodbye to Silence, but not quite for the last time just yet, we venture forth to the Burning Shores, flying high in the clouds, safe as can be. Wait, is that a laser? Oh dear. So we fall off our sunwing and descend to the grounds below, where we conveniently meet another character. Allow me to introduce you all to Seika. She basically shadows you as a companion in every single main story mission in this DLC. She's a competent Quen Marine who also happens to have a focus. Whilst the focus is a part of her culture, it's not necessarily a societal norm for her in particular to have one. And that brings complications for Seika amongst her people, almost to parallel what set Aloy apart from hers. First character we happen upon in the entire DLC, and there's instant charisma. Very nice. So we then accompany Seika back to a Quen settlement where the only ramifications for her violating her culture's societal norms by wearing a focus is this guy isn't very pleased about it. However, he answers to this guy, and he kind of vouches for Seika, so that's very nice. But now the Quen allow Aloy and Seika to pursue their mutual interests, even though they hadn't meaningfully hindered it. Of course, Aloy is hunting the Zenith Walter Londra, and Seika is looking for her missing sister amongst other missing Quen in the Burning Shores. But the plot uses this non-setback to further compare Seika to Aloy. Ooh, I wonder why they're giving these characters so much in common. This DLC is quite light when it comes to its characters. There's only really a handful, and most are relegated to a one-off or two-time conversation, whereas it's just mainly focused on Aloy and Seika pursuing this goal together. There's a small handful of side quests, and this is really the only settlement in the entire map space. I was kind of expecting for there to be more in this world space than for it to just function as a backdrop for the story being told, but I'm not necessarily disappointed with that because it actually fits. Whilst the open worlds of RPGs are all about distraction, it's very good when there's a story that can be told without needing to distract you as well. This allows us to focus on the real reason why anybody would want to play a Horizon DLC in the first place. We want to fight bigger machines. I said bigger machines! Oh dear, we're literally fighting a mountain. What's next? The fucking moon. I may have accidentally just discovered the ending to the entire Horizon franchise. Aloy's gonna blow up the moon, isn't she? The DLC does well to supplement the ending of Horizon Forbidden West by expanding our understanding of what's coming in the future for Horizon, as Londra's plan is to indoctrinate a bunch of Quen into like-minded people so he can form a community when he finally leaves Earth before Nemesis arrives. So Seika's objective to find the missing Quen and Aloy's objective of taking down Londra are now officially intertwined, so these two's relationship can expand, whilst also not straying too far from a story that's relevant to Nemesis, or at least expanding on what we know about Nemesis, a corrupted AI that serves as the franchise's main antagonist. And though the DLC's antagonist's plan is to leave, the launching of such a rocket will result in the deaths of loads of people left back on Earth. It's in keeping for a Zenith to be apathetic and inconsiderate of the people living on Earth at this point, but this particular plot direction makes him, as an isolated antagonist, not incredibly threatening. This isn't necessarily detrimental to the plot of Burning Shores, but it doesn't do it any favours either. He's absent for most of the main storyline, however, but that makes being on his trail a touch more interesting, and perhaps even a cult of Walter seem a little bit less absurd than it actually is. And of course, with Londra less physically present, we can fight big-ass machines. So that's certainly a positive. You, my friend, just got Jurassic Parked. So to summarise the story, it's nice and concise and fun, and also provides Aloy with a special friend. And by that I mean Sun King Avad is going to be fucking wounded. As far as gameplay is concerned, it's still Horizon, so we've got some new skills, some new machines to fight, some new weapons, some new outfits, and we can also use skiffs now, which is actually really fun. I quite like them. It's a nice mode of transport. I feel as if the entire world is my oyster aboard the mighty skiff. So yeah, the gameplay is plenty fun, though most of that comes from murdering massive machines, so I can't complain there. The sad news is this DLC is not on the PlayStation 4, so to all of the PS4 Horizon Forbidden West players, supposedly the vision for this DLC was expand to fully take advantage of the PlayStation 5's power. I'm not entirely sure what does this. Maybe it's the literal boss fight with the actual Hollywood Hills. It's good for Horizon to finally unshackle from the PS4 and truly begin unlocking what the PS5 can actually do, but I find it a bit weird that it was a DLC that they started doing this with rather than the next game. But since I have a PS5, I don't care awfully that much. But for the Horizon Forbidden West players who do not have a PS5, I don't think this DLC in itself is enough to pull the trigger on it for. So to conclude what is effectively only a short summary, if you liked Horizon Forbidden West, there is every chance you'll also like Burning Shores. Aloy's development continues as we go off hunting down a new enemy, and that puts us in the path of a lot of machines that we can kill. I'd argue it's a touch lighter on world building than I came to expect from Horizon, but the story actually benefits from the pre-existing context, and from an aesthetic perspective, the game is also still gorgeous, so we get to see more of it in the Burning Shores / what used to be Los Angeles. It's a nice fun new world space to explore as well, and I'm sure there's plenty of content here to make up for a good few long sittings. But above all else, Horizon is still Horizon, so at the very least it's decent. The DLC does make me wonder what they're actually going to do about Sylens, mind you, as his actor Lance Reddick sadly passed away. It seems as if his role in the story isn't complete and was intended to be quite a large factor going into the third story, or the third game shall we say. There's no good course of action out of that if the story of a character is incomplete, sadly. I suppose they could recast him, but maybe Sylens would lose the impact that Lance Reddick brought to the role. But that's all working under the assumption that they haven't started that portion of development yet. Hopefully Guerrilla Games figure out a way to go forward with that. But anyway, I hope my short review, because that's all my brain can handle, was helpful. I feel as if this was more of a summary, to be honest. Thank you all for watching this brief video. I really hope that you've enjoyed. If you did happen to enjoy, be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be massively appreciated, of course. And if you like history, maybe check out our history channel Decades via the link in the description. But besides that, I've nothing else to say. This is probably as close as you're going to get to a review out of me, to be fair. Reviewing is just not my strong suit. So instead, I'm going to start trawling this DLC and looking for its secrets. So, with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. But until next time, please take care and goodbye.